Sometimes I be riding your face and hit like genjutsu in place. That's how it be though. Nothing but great effort just to get a C though. Eyes watching but we never seem to be though. One time for me, let me hear it one time. My Hero Academia greatness. The show truly began this weekend, and I'm hyped. I'm not gonna lie. I gotta say one thing though. Let's jump into it right here, right? Because this episode, again, it's the true beginning. Last week we had that swimsuit filler recap or whatever. This is the true start of My Hero Academia Season 3's story and where we're going, the whole camp and whatnot. I ain't gonna lie, I got a couple of cool vibes, which I always do it. I don't care. I'm gonna make the comparisons of things I've seen previously. Kind of reminded me of, like, in a way, maybe the Hunter exams a little bit, but also it reminded me of the Chunin exam where they had to get, I believe it's called the Forest of Death. They had to go through the Forest of Death. It was kind of similar in the beginning of what I felt when they were having to cross that whole, big forest or whatever, but it was done really quickly, and it wasn't like, the Chunin exams, which it was a really good arc and stuff like that in Naruto, but I thought it was nice that it was all covered in one episode. Bam, from point A to point B. They had a couple of strenuous activities. We got to see a little bit more teamwork. It showcased the development of these characters. If this was season 1, they would not have moved in unison like they did in this episode. We just wouldn't have seen that. Deku, Bakugo, everybody. Don't get me wrong, they're still unseasoned. They still have a lot of training to go, but they work together. Even Mineta, which, my gosh, I did not think. When I read the My Hero Academia manga way before we ever knew we were getting an anime, I never thought in a million years. Well, I kind of assumed I would like the character, or he'd be funny, or he would annoy me. I ain't gonna lie, that was one of the things I thought in the anime it could happen too, depending on the way they directed him. Mineta just is comedy gold for My Hero Academia. I would argue he's one of, if not the most funniest characters in Class 1A and in the story in general. Every time he's involved, and throughout this episode you see him, the hot springs where they're taking their shower or whatever, they're bathing and whatnot, him trying to creep into the girls. That is comedy gold, but it also served the purpose, which I like. Again, fan service that has a meaning and is not just gratuitous, like, hey, look at these jugs just for the sake of it. When they were doing that, it was also building up this new little kid character that was introduced. He's connected to the 2 female superheroes, the Pussycats, which I was like, oh, Deku fanboy in there though, and it always goes back into this is My Hero Academia, which those are the elements that My Hero made for itself. Having moments of like Deku fanboying over superheroes that he's seen in the past, you're not getting that really anywhere else, where somebody's just fanboying, oh, this superhero's awesome, this superhero's amazing in manga. So that was something I was like, yo, My Hero doing its own thing, and I love that. Remind myself of me, like, yo, if I met some of these people, like if I met, oh my god, I couldn't even imagine meeting some of the Japanese voice actresses or voice actors for some of these characters. I've met a lot of my childhood hero English voice actors, so I couldn't even imagine, but I digress. I apologize. Let's get back into it. Seeing Deku in this one, it was really also jumping into Deku's character. I mean, he even said it when the little kid was like, yeah, I want to be superhero losers, and he really doesn't like superheroes because of his little past of, well, not little past, his parents were superheroes that died. You could definitely see it. Cut and dry, he resents superheroes because his parents were superheroes and died. And also his standoffish, get away from me, I'm a mean little kid attitude goes into his backstory, and there's a reason why he's like that, which was kind of neat. I thought that was a cool little touch. I mean, in the manga, when I saw this kid, I'm not gonna lie, he annoyed the life out of me. Like, if I thought Mineta would have annoyed me when he got to the anime or whatever, this kid in the manga was like, stop being a dick, kid, you're annoying. So it was interesting the way they played off in the anime. I mean, it was par for the course with the manga, but just the vibe I got in the anime felt a little bit different. You see Deku really wants to change him, and again, it all goes back into why Deku is such a true candidate for One for All, because when he sees somebody that is a crisis, and that's what a true hero, and it's not even just in the terms of My Hero Academia, if you see somebody in the world that is going through something, or there's something wrong with them, and you think possibly you can help them and change them, even though you don't have to, especially if they're being mean or an asshole. I know me, a lot of times when people are mean to me for no reason or talk shit to me for no reason, I give it right back to them. So Deku showcases this purity of what a hero is supposed to be. This is why Stain rocked with Deku and was kind of like, he's one of the only ones that I won't kill this kid, you know what I mean? The only one that can kill me is All Might, a pure guy. So I think, again, this episode demonstrated and showcased, again, Deku's a true hero. He don't care if you treat him like shit. And I always get a little bit like woed out, and I hope one day he gets past this point when Bakugo's like, I'm gonna kill you and stuff like that. He's a hero that really acts like a vigilante and just, a nut job sometimes, which that's the Bakugo that we know, some love and hate or whatever it is, but nevertheless, Bakugo, I would like to see him at some given point get past, like, the way he was acting in this episode. It was cool seeing him kind of not necessarily working in teamwork, but, you know, they were all taking their shots at these monsters that was in the forest or whatever, and he's like, I'm gonna kill this, and I'm like, one day Bakugo has to get over that hurdle of talking like he's a villain. Honestly, if anybody at this point in time right now, where the story's at, if anyone from Class 1A would be a villain, it's obvious the two candidates, Bakugo and Todoroki. Todoroki, I think at this point, he's come a long way. I don't think we'd ever see him as a villain. Bakugo right now, again, is demonstrating he'd make a decent villain the way he acts. You know what I mean? He has these impulses. If he fell to the dark side, a la like a Sasuke or anybody that's betrayed their nakama to go to the dark side, he kind of has that feel that he could go that way. But then again, Bakugo also, it's not necessarily that he has this really deep hatred of anything. It's more so like a, Deku, you should not be on my level. Why are you on my level? And that pisses me off. You're supposed to be an ant. How dare you? But he also treats everybody else the same. You know, he's a pretty big asshole. And at the end of the day, I think, love it or hate it, he's an asshole. And it's one of those things where, you know, when you know somebody and they say, hey, I'm going to introduce you to my friend Fred. You know, he's a bit of an asshole, but once you get to know him, you love him. No. Once you get to know him, you'll get used to him being an asshole, is more like the phrase should be. So Bakugo's character, again, he didn't have that much of a significant role in this episode, but he was fighting a bit. And again, it just reminded me, Bakugo really needs to change at some given point, and not necessarily a complete 180, but not say things like, I'm gonna kill you, more like, I'm maybe gonna put you down, or I'm gonna kick your ass. So just maybe a little bit of a argument in semantics at that point. Regardless of what, this episode though, very nice preparation, seeing the League of Villains against Shigaraki. Oh my gosh, I ain't gonna lie, when we got to that point and we see already he's getting ready to make his move. You know what I mean? He got his crew, he sent a few people at the end of the episode. Great cliffhanger already, leading into trouble is a brewing. Great stuff with the villains. Nice setup with this episode. Honestly, this episode, it wasn't the craziest, most amazing episode in the world. Again, a lot of build up getting into this arc. They're trying to get a lot. When Eraserhead was explaining, yo, we're trying to get like a semester's worth of knowledge into these kids with this one trip, it's gonna be strenuous. So again, a lot of setup and build up with this episode, but it was interesting nonetheless. Really cool action, awesome art and animation, funny jokes with Mineta. Not something to write home about, but if this is the true start for My Hero Academia, it's true to what the series is to begin with. Academia, you know, they're school kids, they're younger or whatever, but at the same time it's doing its own little things where it's like, hey, you know, Deku fanboying still, which I don't know why I really like those moments. Even if it's some cornballs like the Pussycats. I ain't like the Pussycats, I ain't gonna lie. They look nice, but I'm not gonna be like, yeah, Pussycats, woo! And when he got rocked, I was like, yeah, shouldn't have said the age, boy. You need to learn a little thing or two about the ladies, Deku. What are you doing? You got Uraraka there again. Like, we talked about pairings yesterday. If you missed the pairings video, basically, like, pairings, yeah, they're not necessarily something to get too invested in, but when you got episodes like this, it totally makes sense why shippers do what they do. You shouldn't really be that invested in it, but when you got Uraraka, they're blushing for Deku, and then Deku being shy, like, they're gonna end up together. They're probably gonna be a powerhouse couple at some given point. Imagine her lifting people as Deku jumps and punches them. Great stuff. So yeah, nice little romance building yet again in this episode with them two. It probably won't ever go anywhere for a very long time, if not the end, but still cool moments. Overall episode, I'm giving this one an 8 out of 10. Very good start. I wish this was the first episode, to be honest with you, just because it was like, there we go, we're back, we got the League of Villains, we got everybody, let's do the damn thing. Kind of curious what a lot of you guys thought about this episode of My Hero Academia, Season 3, Episode 2. Do you feel as though this was a better start for the season? We shouldn't even have had last week's episode, or were you not that impressed with this episode to begin with? Your thoughts on the little kid. Again, he might annoy some people, and I could see him being like, because whenever you add little kids into a story where there's not necessarily, well, even with adults, but like people that are quite a bit older, it always feels like, he's, you know, that's that kid to, you know, pull in the little kids so they could feel like, I can't be Deku, but maybe I could be Koda, you know what I mean? So, but your overall thoughts again, the action, the art, the animation. What do you think about the League of Villains? What does Shigaraki have? He's already setting up and planning for something nasty. Only time will tell. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil things even though I read the manga. Come on, y'all know me by now. And your overall thoughts, My Hero Academia Season 3, Episode 2. I am so pumped. Our series is back. But that is all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and do a little stalking on my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day, and remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy! Bow. Have an awesome day. My Hero Academia hype! Making major moves, laughing at the haters lose. We don't give a fuck, virginity intact, cream stack. Paper rules, if you heard it, best believe that. But now it's whatever, one day I'll be your favorite, but never. No matter how you get it done.